Napoleon Bonaparte. A boy was running toward a rainbow. Even if he got his shirt caught on a tree branch, or even if he tripped over a stone, thus bleeding, he didn't stop running. But the harder he was approaching the rainbow, the further it was getting. After running for a long time, he shouted,
"I'm sorry I missed it, but next time I will catch it."
This boy was Napoleon, who became a French emperor later. Napoleon, whose name means Lion of the Wilderness in Italian, was born in an island called Corsica in the Mediterranean Sea, which was under the control of France. Corsicans who earned a living by catching fish were poor because they paid heavy taxes to France. Napoleon was unusually short. When he entered a school, he was always made fun of by other children. He then got tough with the children who made fun of him. Besides being a good fighter, he hated to let others get the better of him, so he was always academically at the top of his class. Napoleon's father knew his dream of being a soldier when he grew up, and sent him to France to go to the military academy. He studied hard there, but no one liked him because he was short in height, and Corsican as well. One day his teacher called him and said, "If you want to be a great soldier, you must get along well with others." After hearing his teacher's remark, Napoleon made efforts to be on friendly terms with his friends. As a result, his friends recognized him gradually and recommended him as class leader. While he was studying as a military cadet, he heard the sad news of his father's death. But he had to endure his sadness, although he could not go to his hometown because of the strict rules of the military academy. After graduation from the military academy, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the artillery and carried out his duties faithfully. In 1793, the fallen French royal family launched an attack on France with the help of the United Kingdom. Napoleon participated in the war by leading an artillery troop. Although he was wounded in battle, he encouraged his soldiers and carried out his combat duties faithfully. At last, the war ended with France's victory, and he was promoted from captain to major general because his achievements were recognized. Napoleon became commander of the French army at the age of 27. He met a beautiful woman, Josephine, at a dancing party. They loved each other and married soon. As commander of the French army, he went on an expedition to conquer Europe. In order to boost his soldiers' morale, he had drums beaten and shouted in front of them, "The word impossible is not in my dictionary. Follow me!" His soldiers trusted him and defeated the enemy forces. After returning from the long war, Napoleon found France was in a state of confusion again. He led his army to attack the castle and became the first consul to govern France. As the first consul of France, he made a lot of achievements for the country. He reformed the tax law and promulgated the Napoleonic Code. All the French people liked Napoleon. "I need to be an emperor in order to govern the country well." Napoleon decided to become an emperor. There was a national election soon, and he was elected emperor by a majority of votes in favor. One day, Napoleon was taking a walk. He saw a four-leaf clover while looking at clovers along the road. As soon as he bent down to pick it, a bullet suddenly flew fast over his head with a bang. Someone tried to kill him. The four-leaf clover saved his life. Napoleon was defeated in a war between France and Russia, which opposed it. Although he had led an army with the strength of 100,000 of soldiers to the war, he returned to France with an army of less than 20,000 soldiers. People began to criticize Napoleon. At last he was exiled to the island of Elba in the Mediterranean Sea. After Napoleon was exiled, Louis XVIII became King of France. French people began to lead a hard life again. After hearing the news, Napoleon escaped from the island of Elba secretly and returned to France. As Napoleon returned to France, people shouted with joy. Louis XVIII ran away after hearing the news of his return to France. He became emperor again. On the other hand, the British army and its allies decided to destroy Napoleon. He participated in a war 40 days after he returned from the island of Elba. But he had a lot of difficulties fighting the enemy forces because his army's strength was far below the required number of soldiers. At last, Napoleon was defeated in the war, and he was exiled to the island of St Helena. He grew weaker there. After all, Napoleon died at the age of 52 on May 5th, 1821. As a confident and unyielding man, he conquered Europe and was always thoughtful of the French people's interests. He disappeared in history after leaving the following great remark: "The word impossible is not in my dictionary."